This episode is sponsored by CJ Wassell Roofing and Building Solutions. For all your roofing, building and landscaping needs, call CJ Wassell in Leeds, Pontefract, Barnsley, Doncaster and surrounding areas. Contact details in description below. You can also find them on Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest. He's the founder of the Mean&Clean Recovery and Sobriety Programme, and he's the host of the Mean&Clean podcast. Welcome, Marcus Pereira. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Welcome.
No problem.
So, mate, I mean, there's so much we can talk about with you. First of all, like I said, thanks for coming. Last couple of years, mate, I mean, where do we start with that? What an incredible turnaround. I mean, we've been following you for a while on socials and stuff. You're pretty local to us. I don't even know where to start with this one, I'll be honest with you. I mean, last couple of years, it's wow. I mean, where do you start? What
I guess, do you want to maybe start with your business and where you started, why you started?
Yeah, so obviously Mean&clean now, it's become internationally known. You know, we haven't got international branches yet. You know, there are people that are under Mean&clean programme in Australia and Canada and places like that. But it's predominantly obviously based in UK, and there's no physical location as of yet. But that idea came to me at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 or 4 days into my recovery. I just had an image of a wolf in my head, and I don't know why, I think I was thinking about George Foreman grilling machine, and I just kind of rhymed that, and I was like, Mean&clean, yeah, that's pretty good. And then that with that, and I literally played about with logo on an app called Canva.
Oh, yeah.
And it showed me what it'd look like on mugs, t-shirts, fucking, you know, signs outside buildings and
flags, whatever.
Yeah, once I'd seen that, and once I saw the logo like outside of a building, I was like, recovery centre. Do you know what I mean? Wellness recovery centre, ice baths, fucking boxing rings, gym, everything just for recovering addicts. Yeah. And then it grew arms and legs then, and I was like, well, what else could we do? Well, fucking go viral. And I said to myself, I want to be one of the biggest faces in the world when it comes to recovery and sobriety content. And I thought, yeah, but what about that guy? He does it. And I thought, stop thinking about them. Just think about, you just put yourself out there to help other people. And everything that I've achieved to this day, not just recovery, you know, but business, family, health and fitness, athletics, everything. I saw it all in that moment, and I just, it kind of makes me not feel bad about being a recovering addict.
Right.
You know
And the
I mean?
reason you all done that basically because close to 2 years ago, you stopped taking drugs and decided to sort yourself out, kind of thing.
That's it. So I were like everybody else, you know what I mean? When you're at school, you dabble, you get into some social circle, somebody's got a bit of something, you try it. You then become 18 years of age, licensed to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. You know, I'm pissed at that, yeah.
All the fucking time, mate. Nothing were off cards. Everything that was a bad idea was a good idea.
Yeah.
Loyalty meant no. Relationships didn't mean no. Friends didn't mean no. You just wanted to have a good time. That was it.
Yeah.
But with me, I think that addict's always been there. Do you know what I mean? It's always sort of been inside, because whatever I do, I go full pelt at it.
Kind of addictive personality.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, with that one, people say that, and I don't play on it, but I use that term addictive personality to, it kind of gives a bit of understanding to somebody that can't understand why they are how they are. And I sort of say that to people, you've got an addictive personality, which basically means whatever you do, you're going to be invested in. You've got to be passionate about whatever you do if you're going to go fucking full force at it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to get depressed.
Yeah.
So I knew from an early age, and my grandma always said to me, alcohol and men in our family don't mix. Right, because whenever I go out, I'd be drinking, getting in fights. Then I got to I must have been about 2021, started working on doors up Ponty. Always in fights up there.
Oh, Ponty will keep you busy, that's for sure.
Oh, fucking too right. I mean,
it has gone better lately, hasn't it?
You know how I got a job? I think I said this on All Star Prizes podcast, but I got the job at Big Fellas. I was on Green Dragon Door, right, and working for a company called Phoenix Security, and I was working with a door bloke who just was shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got my licence fresh, you know what I mean? My SIA licence, I'm like, in toilets looking like fucking new job, you know, fucking first day on job type of cop thing. Yeah. And I'm like, right, acting like a sniffer dog, try to suss it out. And people were acting up and I was kicking them out or refusing people in, asking for IDs. Landlady were upstairs in flat above and she was like, you're too aggressive for this door. You need to tone down a bit. I'm like, I'm just doing my job. I'm saving you from getting, you know, fucked by licensing. Yeah. Anyway, 5 lads come out at the pub and 4 of them turned on one of them and they were kicking the fuck out of him. Obviously, in Pontefract, there's a big sort of, you know, it's roundabout with cenotaph in the middle. And all door staff were just watching. And I'm like, nobody going to do out? And they were like, can't leave the door. And I thought, you know what, fuck the badge. So I was straight over, bang, that was it. Woman come out again, you can fuck off. And just as she said that, Tony, who owns Big Fellas, walked past and he went, I need that. You start tonight? I says, well, I ain't got a job now, mate. So, and that was that, mate. And I was littlest doorman at Big Fellas, but Tony always used to say to me, you always turn up when fucking
biggest heart and biggest balls.
Yeah, you always first one that, you know, that turns up when something goes off. I were off my head half at time. Do you know what I mean? I was. But that worked thing as well. That's where entrepreneurial side of me come out because I were good. I worked for other security companies and I were getting them contracts on doors. And I thought, why the fuck am I doing that? They're buying into me, not this company. And I started researching what do you need to be a security company, right? And so many people are put off starting businesses and ventures because you think you've got to have a degree or a license to do something. Yeah. You don't, right? You just need fucking common sense, a bit of experience and the bare minimum license, so that'd have been an SIA license. So I literally started making my own company from scratch.
For doorman or even to own a bouncer business, it's the same license?
Yeah, you just need an SIA license. If you want to be SIA certified, then that can get you more jobs.
Right,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it was then anyway, because I'd researched it because I thought I'm going to get fucking locked up here. But literally, I started getting these door contracts. I started a company called Security Pro. And I was working at Pound World in Normanton at times as a static security guard. And there were a little brown-nosed bastard that worked there who was my supervisor, who knew that I was basically committing industrial espionage because I'm copying everything that this other company were doing. And I was like, you know, just to make it look professional, so I've got information to give.
You're an opportunist.
That was it, mate. But,
that's how
you know,
everybody start, don't they? So.
But I was young, dumb, and fucking hardly any come, mate. And I was just like, you know, like I've got to start somewhere, so I'll just learn from these guys, you know. And that was
and that's how people start. That's a normal thing, isn't it?
Then I got fucking.
So were you early 20s then?
Yeah, and then I got sacked from that job. But the day, this is what I'm saying, I've always landed on my feet for some reason. So the day that I got sacked from that, bosses come down from Newcastle, they sacked me. But the day before, I'd been in talks with Show and Event Security that are based not far from here. And they says, right, if you can get me 20 lads tomorrow, you can do fucking stage pit at Killer's concert in Bolton. Right. So I was like, sound, do you know what I mean? And then they come down and sacked me. And I'm stood on fucking roundabout with my box of shit, you know, your classic American film, you've just been fired type thing. And a minibus come and pick me up with 20 of my lads in it. And we fucked off to Bolton and I'm like at front stage and I'm looking and Killers have just come on and they're all there, you know, fucking wearing my t-shirts that I got our last to go get printed, like literally last minute. And I'm like looking, thinking, fucking yes. Do you know what I mean?
This is all right.
Thinking, I'm earning £10 an hour off you. Fuck that job. Do you know what I mean? But that's been my mentality. And then obviously, when we had his first child, when me and Dee had Diago, the drinking became more, the drug use became more on the job, and with that, it bred problems. And then that's when I ended up falling into different social circles and showing commitment in different parts of my life that I shouldn't have done. And then it escalated from just a sesh.
Just quickly, and when do you think you started having them entrepreneurial, you know, thoughts and stuff? Do you think it's always been within you? As a young kid, or you know, young kids have paper rounds, you know, you love making a bit of money, or was that more like into your 20s? Would you say?
No, I think anybody that knew me as a kid would probably say that I was very characteristic. I either wanted to be a fireman for some fucking reason, or I wanted to be next Johnny Depp. Do you know what I mean? Like the worlds apart, but I wanted to be something extraordinary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I turned 18, a mate of mine called Tyler, he invited me to this presentation, and it was multi-level marketing, a bit like Herbalife, but it was called New Skin, and it was all anti-aging products, right? And this is where I first got a sense that I were going to do pretty well in sales and public speaking and all that kind of stuff, because it was an anti-aging company selling anti-aging products that cost thousands, and I'm 18, you know, my hairline was healthier than it is now, you know, and not a wrinkle on my face, not a fucking hair on my chin, nothing, and I was wearing the same suit every fucking meeting in the middle of summer, sweat, I stunk. You know, I was skinny because I wasn't eating, walking to meetings and that. And I used to go door to door, knocking on doors, talking to old people, trying to sell them a fucking galvanic spa. That'll, you know, and I'll be there. I'd come into the house, talk me way into the house, and I'd be doing fucking facials on some old woman, right? And then her husband would come home from work, be like, what the fuck's going on here? And she looks like she's had a stroke because she's just had like a non-surgical facelift on the left side. And I'm just like... You're paying for this. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I knew at that point that I had gift at gab, and you know, that's what people call it. But and when I didn't get far in that business.
But you went into drugs then?
No. I mean, I might have dabbled once or twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think first time I touched out, it was ketamine, and that were after my leavers assembly at school. I was absolutely bollocks, never again. Do you know what I mean? I tried it twice, never again.
That is different kind of drug. Fucking ruins people, doesn't it?
Oh, I've had loads of people come onto my program this past week. Since I did a video on ketamine the other day, loads of people have signed up to the program because of ketamine. It's all young people between 18 to 22
Because
years
of price, it's cheap.
Yeah, because
It's cheap and it gives you like euphoric feeling, whatever, and they all go after
comatose, you don't know.
Yeah, and do you know, this is sorry to, you know, we go off the rails in here a little bit, but it's a little fact. Ketamine as a drug is like 10 times worse on your organs in your body than heroin, coke, any kind of A-class drug. It's absolute worse. It can literally ruin your bladder within 2 months.
Yeah,
You'll be pissing in a bag all the time.
As well.
With clients, yeah, and people that I help, yeah. Myself, like I say, I didn't really thingy with that. I suffered different effects because mine progressed through to... Obviously, it was always cocaine, but it started with a little 0.3 bag, and then it would go up to like 3 gram, and then it got between 3 to 5 gram of coke a day, and that went on for years. And then there were crack and crystal meth, you know. So people look at me now and go, "You want a crackhead?" I'll tell you why. And I'll go, "Why want I a crackhead?" And they go, "Because you've got teeth." And I'm like, "Yeah, but my backbone was fucking gone."
What's the difference between crack and crystal meth? I don't know what's the difference.
A fucking world of difference.
Is it?
A world of difference, mate. Crystal meth, it's not that big over here. But it's...
In America, it's fucking huge.
But I thought that's what crack is, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Crack cocaine, isn't it? Crack cocaine.
Crack's just washed up cocaine. You know,
Right.
you just smoke it. But we crystal meth, mate, that's just... Have you ever seen that film Limitless?
Yeah.
With Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Because fucking... Right, so...
Good movie, that.
Like, literally, I used to watch that film and I was like, with my brain, how I think, if I had one of them tablets... I'd be unstoppable. I'd be president.
Straight on stock exchange.
Mate, I would be fucking, mate. America, Russia, fucking Iran would be bowing to me, mate, next week if I had one of them tablets. But I text my mate, jokingly, and he were in motorcycle club I were in at the time, and I said, it's in that film Limitless. I wish there were a fucking tablet, because he's an entrepreneurial guy as well. And he was like, bro, that's meth. I was like, what do you mean? He went, that's what meth does, and I knew he smoked meth. And I was like, never. Anyway, so next time I saw him, we were literally in a bar behind here, right? And I had no coke on me that night, and I was I'd just been drinking. And if I didn't have cocaine, I would be, you could push me and I'd fall over, you know, after a few beers. So I was like, I ain't got no gear and blah, blah, blah. He says, yeah, come sit in, Kai. He says, just have a toot of that. I didn't have a fucking clue. I just tooted it. I thought it was just a vape. what the fuck's that? I says, you haven't changed coil on that. He went, no, keep going, keep going. He says, right, in 30 seconds you're going to feel fucking mint. Got out of the car, it were like walking on clouds. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was sober. I thought, right, it's made me feel as sober as I am now. But then 10 minutes later, I says, oh, give us another one. And then I felt the effects. And then it were like different level. Do you know what I mean? You just get this war. It's like your brain's getting hugged by a radiator and you just zone into everything. And one night we were in Blackpool and we sat there. I were off my head on coke. Obviously the one meth there. I had a bit of that. And I had a bit of a Limitless Bradley Cooper moment. And he went, oh, bro, where you put them fags? And I went, the behind toaster there. He went, what toaster? I said, fucking toaster in the kitchen. He went, bro, there's a fucking wall there. I went, I can see round that corner, the fags are... And he went in and he went, how the fuck did you... I says, meth, mate. Wow. And that scared the fuck out of me next day like that. You know, I could see round corners. that would have been weird.
So rolling it back a little bit then, when would you say that you... Not maybe your worst point, but when did it escalate for you? You went earlier on, were you saying when you had kids?
Yeah, so that's...
Personally, I started drinking more when I had kids. I think it's a natural
just to relax
mechanism. You kind of know what to do and all that.
You know what I think it is? After working, like, because in almost the same amount of time that I've been sober, I've been running Mean and Clean. And I've had a lot of people come through doors of that. So I relate a lot of, obviously all my videos that I do are based on my own personal experiences and the advice I give people is based on my experiences, nobody else's, because then it's not genuine. But one thing that I have found a common denominator with is that a lot of young dads that are using the idea of making a baby is amazing, you know, and yeah, I'm going to be a dad, little lad's just going to be like me. But when it happens, you're not quite ready for that commitment. You know, especially at a young age when they should be your party years. Then that's why I did a video not long ago saying it's all right when you stick your dick in them. I says, but when that comes out, you know, the result of it comes out.
It's a lot for people to take.
Don't be shocked when you've got to step up in the world. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. A lot of men can't deal with that. You know, so it's escapism.
Did you feel like that as well, if you think back now?
No, I remember, and I remember strongly, I always wanted to be a dad. That's because I lost my dad. I was 4 years old, he was 21. He died in a car crash. He had previous with cannabis and heroin. The night he died, I've heard stories from people that were in the car with him that, because he was the only one that died, but people had said to me, because I tracked him down and spoke to him, and they says, yeah, he relapsed on recreational drugs, but apparently the toxicology report said that bullshit, but I don't know what to believe, but he was a year sober before he died, and he did that for me, and I grew up knowing that, and I grew up knowing that my dad loved me, right? So that always, and I think that might have contributed to me becoming an addict, because I didn't know my dad, I wanted to understand my dad, and I wanted to live his life to be close to him. And I think that's why I voluntarily threw myself into addiction when I knew that I liked drugs, because it gave me a way to understand my dad a bit. My life has mirrored my dad's life. Everything, right? Even the road traffic accident. You know, I came off my bike. I should have died. The bike flipped. It went on top of me. It was fucking Harley Davidson. Went on top of me. And the weird thing was, I wasn't even going at speed. All I'd done is tap my back brake, and I went off, and the bike just boom, and I went straight to a lamppost. And when that happened, someone said to me, right, you've done now. You've lived his life. I lost my missus and kids at that point, because obviously he lost my mum and me. So to me, it was like, I've ticked every box. The only thing is I ain't died. And something inside me just says, right now it's time for you to start living your life, not your dad's life. And that is one thing that I will always remember around the back end of my active addiction, that I said to myself, it's time to be you. Because everything I did, I think every decision, every group of people I've been around, it's to fill a void. You know, a lot of people I spent time with were older blokes, you know, people, you know, looking for that sort of North Star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got, you know, I call him my dad. He is my dad. You know, technically stepdad, but he's been with me since I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know, that relationship got better as we got older. But I think I was just sort of seeking that, who's going to teach me to be a man, who's going to teach me to fight, who's going to teach me, you know. So that's where I'd, you know, and when I was younger, obviously I'm very open about what I've been through. I was sexually abused as a child by 2 lads who lived at end of the street, who were a lot older, and that got out at school. So you can imagine what kids at school are dickheads.
Yeah.
Right? And
Kids are more brutal than grown-ups, it's a
Yeah,
fact.
for sure.
so apparently I were gay, right? And to my missus, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, babe, but they're calling me gay, but I were getting into bed with girls they liked, but I were gay. Do you know what I mean? But it took its toll on me, and by the age of 14, I had attempted suicide 5 times.
Fucking
No
hell, man.
14-year-old should be doing that.
No.
Right?
But did anybody notice that you were struggling, or?
Yeah, I think people did. People did. They
Did you manage to
obviously
speak to anyone, or did anyone reach out to help you then?
Yeah, I mean, there were, because my mum worked at the school that I went to, so obviously all
Yeah.
staff knew and everything like that. And I had a good group of friends at that time, because I used to do performing arts, and you know, I mixed with everybody, me. You know what I mean? I got along with bullies, I got along with fucking drama queens, I got along with rugby players, everybody. You know, and I like to keep it that way. So I had a good support system in place, but I have always felt okay with dealing with shit alone, because it has, like something we spoke about off camera, which obviously I won't go into, but that recently has been quite if I were new in recovery, that would have pushed me over the edge to relapse.
Yeah.
But I know I've got through worse in my life before, and I know when I get dropped in shit and I have to deal with it on my own, I know I'm going to come back a million times stronger. So I think from a young age, that fire to literally use trauma as fucking fuel instead of an anchor, it was ingrained in me at a young age. And now I carry that into everything that I do. But to go back to your question, I think I always used to say, I've never been to a beef, I've never done this, I've never done that. So I sort of substituted that with weekend partying, and then it'd fall into weekdays, and you know. And when me and Dee had Diago, you know, it was fucking brilliant, picture perfect, everything.
How old were you then when you had
I think I were about 21, 22.
That's young, isn't it?
But again, they're fucking ambitious. I'd had that security company 2 weeks. I got a few small gigs under my belt. I put it down and fuck it on paper to make it look like I was dog's bollocks. And I was talking with the head of loss prevention for 3 Amazon sites in Doncaster a week later. Like, some people build up years to get to that point, but I had the bollocks to just go and, you know, say, this is what I do, and that with that. So I've always had this then, but I just didn't know where to channel it then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not many people can do that, can they? You know, the traumas in their life, a lot of people dwell on it, don't they? Use it as a bit of an excuse, but with you, you're completely opposite. Everything you've gone through, you've used it as fuel to create what you've got today, and obviously... It's
and I try to advise people of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was talking to Luke Ambler, who's founders of Andy's Man Club. I was talking to him about 2 weeks ago at Yorkshire Choice Awards, and I said, you know, there's that big thing about mental health, rightly so. I said, but we're not talking, the conversation's not being spoke about in terms of why people have got bad mental health. I says, and you know, I'd like to say at least 85 to 90% of it in men is because of alcohol and drug consumption. You take that away, life all of a sudden becomes fucking better. Where's that depression gone? Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm still aware that people can be depressed, you know, and they can still be suicidal with never touching a drink or drug. But addiction is such a fucking taboo topic. People don't want to touch it. They don't want to even speak about it, because it's dirty. Do you know what I mean? And
Especially men as well.
Well-
Do you think it's still like that, or do you think it's changing a little bit now?
I don't think it is. I think it's still the same,
I think
because
with our generation and younger, that more and more people speak about it.
maybe.
But the older guys, I think they...
I think they speak about it, but not in rap. Like I'm seeing a massive influx, and I don't want to say this is down to me doing my content, but I have, since I've been posting, especially on TikTok, I've seen a massive community of sobriety posters, people that are posting up the journeys and, you know, trying to sort of, not in a bad way, not trying to undercut me in any way, but I must have just given them the idea to start.
Giving them a push.
You know what I mean? And they're doing that, and it's massive now. So there is a lot of people spreading good message out there.
Yeah.
But the only way it is justifiable in 2025 to talk about cocaine addiction is to glorify the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
That little muppet, right? Fucking Gavin Proctor, Gavinio, absolute dickhead, right? Get back, Shadrach, fucking, I would do on a point two. I did a video calling him out on it. He didn't like it, right? He didn't like it. And the guy gets handed, you know, partnerships and this and that and glorified to fuck.
Yeah,
And
that
he's,
should not happen.
he's literally, right? He's literally been caught dealing to kids, right? He's been slapped about by your kid's dad for dealing, right? And talking in a way that he shouldn't have talked to a kid.
People are still pumping money into it.
People still pumping fucking money into him. But I come on and say, boys, put the bag down and save yourself. Don't kill yourself this weekend.
And then
because
you'll
of a
get
bit of
some
flake.
clown slagging you for it.
Yeah, and somebody will be like, shut the fuck up, dickhead. There's no wrong way for your lines. Like, we live in a nation of people that are bagheads and proud.
I think a lot of men, that's why I said I'm not sure that's changing. You know, if you reach the point where you know that you're an addict, because eventually everyone, you know, if they're an addict, they'll understand. You know what? I have a problem. But they'll
Deep
say
down, though.
then they'll say it even to themselves. No, I fucking don't.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
reason is, and you know what? It's a bit rightly so as well, because if people find out that you're an addict, they're looking at you like you're a second-class citizen immediately, whether they like
see
it or not.
weakness,
Yeah.
don't they?
And then you feel that, and you feel that way, even though you're not. You just have a problem, which is fixable. But you won't tell anybody because you know you're going to feel that if you tell people. So
Yeah.
you just don't want to tell them
You're
and
going to get
yourself.
a backlash and you're going to be seen as weak.
Yeah.
People look at you, get a fucking grip, what's up with you?
Yeah.
Well, that's why,
So-
that is exactly why I did what I did. And I did it strategically. Because
You just came out and said it.
I want to shut people the fuck up.
That's why yours is unique, because
Yeah.
it's like you did it from start, from day one, like you said.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who puts herself out in public eye like that? Then you might get somebody saying, "Oh yeah, who would you rather speak to if you had a problem? Somebody like Marcus, or somebody on the phone who's on 20 grand a year, who's never touched a
No,
drug
just
in their
want
life?
somebody like
want
you,
somebody
isn't
who's
it?
true,
Yeah.
don't you?
That's
Somebody
it.
who's lived it.
So many people have, you know, I'm not knocking people that have gone to uni and got degrees and studied addiction, and everybody in this world of recovery serves a purpose some way, shape or form. But recovery is a serious thing, right? And lived experience beats paid for education.
Yeah.
Right? And literally, I think that what you were talking about then, you know, some people, they know they've got a problem and they play ignorant to it. It's like having an hangover. You know, when you got an hangover, you say, never drinking again. A couple of hours later, you feel all right, popped a few paracetamol, let's go for another one.
Yeah.
Right.
Sun is out.
Yeah, I ain't got a fucking problem. I'm not, you know, hanging. I'm all
And
right.
hangover was alcohol
Withdrawal.
withdrawal, yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but like you were saying then, and I wanted to break stigma on addiction.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it to light because people never expected me to become an addict, you know, and people were shocked. But this is where it gets fucking juicy. I remember saying to my mum, back into my addiction, active addiction, I said, she'd always get up for work at 6 in the morning, right? And she'd know that I'd be up all night off my head. And she started coming down at about 4 o'clock because she knew I was going to talk her fucking ear off for 2 hours. You know, while she's making a brew, I'm going to be there, like, fucking talk about conspiracies and fucking like that. And she come down and I was doing that. I was doing exactly that. She's staring at the pot and she's like, Yeah, and I'm like, you know what I mean, though, mate? Like,
How
calling
many
me mum,
coffees
brother,
you
and
had,
stuff.
Marcus?
Calling me mum, brother, and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Fucking little fucking, you know, fucking cake plate there with fucking straw, and I've put tea towel over it just for courtesy because I don't want my mum to see it. She knows what's underneath it.
Put towel on it, so it's all right.
Yeah, my dad used to come down a few hours before that and just just open room door, just wave and fuck off before I even collared him for conversation. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd be telling him fucking how Earth started or some mad shit. But I turned and I said to her, I went, Mum, I says, I know I was talking shit before, and I turned around, I says, Mum, I know I'm fucked, and I know my life's a mess, but mark my words, one day I'm going to get clean, and I will do it, I promise you. And when I do, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to help millions of people get clean as well. And then I just went back to her, what? And she says, when you said that, I knew a bit of you were there still. She went, you've gone and done exactly that. I've not helped a million people yet. A million people have seen my videos and it might have helped a million people. But on record, I have helped over 1,000 people in 18 months, get to over 6 months.
Which is a lot, yeah.
Recovery time, yeah.
Wow.
So it's...
Good fucking great job, mate.
But that's where it got strategic for me, because I knew, like I said, all these other businesses that I had the entrepreneurial mindset. I just wasn't... You could put me into any job, serving pints or mopping floors, a bit best fucking pint server, but am I passionate about it? No. So when I was looking for my niche and I kind of started getting sober, I was like, hang on a minute, this is it.
You're an expert in that field as well, aren't you?
This
Pretty
is
much.
the top.
Yeah, you've lived it.
Well, good question is, well, it's two-part question. Why did you stop? What was, what was the reason? Because there had to be some thought process. You know what, fuck it, today I'm gonna just stop. And did you stop cold turkey just completely within one day?
Yeah.
Cold turkey.
So what I did was, every addict, so if you look at a recovering addict sober date, you've always got to take it back maybe a year, because there will have been multiple attempts before that. And I'd been attempting for a year. You know, this is my 9th attempt at recovery.
Right.
And my best one so far. But the pinnacle moment was, obviously, I'd left the motorcycle club I was prospecting for at the time. I knew I needed to, they gracefully let me go, because they knew I had a problem. And I went, and I'd lost my missus and the kids the same day. So I went from having a very busy, chaotic life to nothing but the drugs.
Okay.
And I just went on a mad one for about a month after that. You know, like I had like 25, 30 grand in
When
the
was
bank. That were nearly 2 years ago.
Nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Also,
the 2 years in
it's
November.
very recent. So this is the last one, yeah.
Yeah, so back end of October, that's when I came away from that social circle, and when me and Dee had broke up. And then my sober date is the 20th of November 2023.
Right.
So there were attempts to get clean, but I knew that I had to come away from that kind of lifestyle. And I knew that as long as she had me living in house, I was going to feel like I'm getting away with it. So I'd just carry on doing it. Like, she ain't going to get rid of me. She thought she had to give me some tough love. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did that hit home then? Big time, probably.
It
You're going
did.
to lose your family, you're never going to see kids again, all that
I
stuff.
went about it wrong way. You know, I saw it as ticket to freedom, do whatever the fuck I want with who I want. And it just dug a deeper hole. It hurt more people around me. It hurt her. It hurt me in the long run. It hurt other people that got involved with me around that time. You know, and I became a bad guy in a lot of people's stories. But I want it right frame of mind. But the pinnacle moment was the day I'd planned to end my life through drug consumption. I purposely got 6 gram of coke in. I got 100 gram crystal meth.
Fucking hell.
And I got about 40 quid's worth of fucking crack. And I literally did my best to get through it all and just fucking die. Right? Just die. And my mum was anticipating this. She'd built this scenario up in her head, you know, for a long time. And she was at work, and I texted her and I says, "Mum, I think it's going to happen." I says, my heart's doing some weird things, and I've never felt like this. I says, "I think you need to come home, be with me." So she did, and she sat down next to the bed. She held my hand, waited for me to go. I says, "Don't ring an ambulance, don't ring police, don't." I says, "Just let me go." I've given it details to my online banking, so that I said, and this is what I said to her, and she'll confirm this to you. You know, if she sees this, which she will, she'll comment and say that it's true. I said to her, when I die, I says, when I'm gone, I says, make sure you transfer the money before you ring the ambulance, so it doesn't look like you've stole from me. Because I had a lot of money in account. I says, transfer the money, I says, and leave it about half an hour, and then do it, then make the call. Do that. And I'd wrote a letter, I had everything wrote saying that I've given my mum this money and everything, you know, to give to kids and set kids and D up with life and everything.
Yeah.
That were my sort of will and testimony. And she held my hand and then closed my eyes. And I woke up just under 24 hours later. I could hear Hoover going at top of the stairs. Is this fucking heaven? Like, what? And literally, when I opened my eyes, a picture of me and the kids and Dee was put onto the windowsill in the bedroom where I was, and it was the first thing I saw. I heard the Hoover, but I saw the picture. And when I woke up, like, I was like, nah.
That is it.
Fuck this. Fuck that. Do you know what I mean? I said to my mum, I says, well, I didn't die. She went, you were snoring. She was like, you were just snoring, you were gone. She was like, next time, make sure it's fucking real thing if you're going to get me out of work.
Say that shit gear, that.
I'm like, I'll fucking try better next time.
Fucking hell.
Can you imagine putting your mom through all that, and then 24 hours woke up, I'm alright now, mom.
You're still getting paid for that shit from my hope, so. But everybody at her work knew what was going on. They were very supportive. Do you know what I mean? They knew it would happen, because my mum would just lost my uncle as well in a motorcycle accident that year, which was an absolute kicking bastard for me, because I always rode my bike.
Were you close to him?
Very close. I always rode my bike pissed up, off my head, and he never did. He was the safest rider in the world, and he copped for it on his way home. A fucking Nissan Navara pulled out on him from coming out of a wind farm. It was a guy who worked at the wind farm, pulled out, you know, like the little dirt roads, laybys, just pulled out and fucking didn't see him. And yeah, that was it, gone. So that hit me hard, and a lot of people in the family wanted me to get clean and sober in his memory, but that is never, when I'm already in active addiction, that's never going to get me clean and sober.
Yeah.
So that did cause a bit of a rift within family, but, you know, it's all put to bed now, and there's a lot of understanding on each side of it. But it was hard for my mum, because she just lost her brother, and the scenario that played out when the police came to my uncle's house to tell, you know, his wife and kids that he'd passed away. That's the scenario my mum had played out about me, with police turning up saying, is your son Marcus, he's dead. She never anticipated it to be about her own brother. And I carried a lot of guilt.
I'm going to ask you that. How do you feel now? Do you feel still guilty about that now? What you put people through?
I feel, you know what it is, right? Like I was talking about earlier on, all the shit I've been through when I was younger. I've got a very good way of, I'm human, I feel emotion, I feel guilt, I feel shame, I feel regret. But I try not to let that consume me, because when you let stuff like that consume you,
it eats you, doesn't it?
It literally has the biggest impact on your future, and you don't know it at the time. But if I let that consume me every single day, it would have a knock-on effect, not just on my life a year's down the line, but
everybody around you,
kids probably, maybe your missus,
anybody else's. You know what I mean? So the way I look at it now is, he knew that I was struggling with drugs when he died around time of his death. He knew that, did my uncle, and I just think this is what he'd want me to be doing now. So I just push on that way. Same with my dad. you know, and everything like that.
Would you say you're spiritual, or do you have meditation or any spiritual stuff?
No,
No.
I'm
It's
a big...
mad, it's mad how you can use all this trauma and just use it as fuel. Honestly, I just keep thinking how so many people, I mean, pretty much most people can't do that.
I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, right? Whether it is that, I think they just label it that because they don't know what to call it. You know, whether it's a higher power or anything like that. I never did the 12-step program, never did the NA meeting thing. The first NA meeting I went to, somebody turned around and looked and went, who the fuck's that? And I've been told that that's the place that's going to save me. So I've just been technically rejected by the place that's going to save me. So as an addict, you've just faced rejection. That is the place that's meant to save me. It's not meant to be, so I might as well go die. That's what my mindset was.
That's like your last hope when you've been rejected. So
that's it. That was it. You know, and like I say, over 1,000 people now that I've helped have all been through similar things with that. One shoe does not fit. But I am a massive believer. You know, you see reels on Instagram and TikTok all the time people saying mindset. It's your fucking mindset. And it is. I could scream it, right? The person that's sat there going bullshit. I think about winning lottery all the time, yeah, but when was the last time you bought a fucking ticket? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to get rich, put the graft in.
Yeah, do you know...
Everyone wants an easy fix, don't they?
Yeah.
Microwave mentality.
Yeah. Do you know, years ago, somebody told me this, and it stuck with me. And I can't even remember who told me this, but he said this phrase, do you know, you can help, you can want to help, and you can try to help everybody, but it's not going to work. He goes, you can't help somebody if they don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
And the day they want to be helped, they don't need your help. They'll do themselves. And you know what? That stuck with me.
If you're helping somebody more than they're helping themselves, you're not actually helping.
You're wasting your time, yeah? You're probably making it worse.
You find that with guys you're helping out as well, with certain ones probably.
Loads of times. And I've had people try to turn it around and say, oh, your program's shit. And it's like, no, mate, because how many times have you rang me, you know, to be accountable? Every time that you've relapsed, have you actually done what have you used the tools that I've provided you with? Have you picked the phone up and called me to do everything in your power to prevent it? No, you haven't. I cannot. People think one phone call with me, I'm just like any other guy that's had sniff up his nose before. The only difference is I've got a set of bollocks to come out and talk about the truths of it, you know, which a lot of people don't like hearing own truths, you know. Fucking some poor lad who's just got home after the 5-day bender, his missus absolutely hates him. She sees me on fucking Facebook talking about that situation, she shares it. He charges his phone after the session, first thing he sees is me talking about what he's done.
What jack to fuck?
Yeah, and that's why he goes get fucked. You know what I mean? That's where all hate comes from.
He's him over and he's looking in with 6 back fucking big shoulders and traps.
Listen, baghead. You know what I mean? That's why I probably get hate like. But
you'll always get that though.
Yeah, it don't bother me.
Yeah. Do you know, through all your addiction time, when you realize yourself, like you said, I've got a problem, like to yourself, like you realize, you know what, this is not going well.
You know what? I probably come out with a statement, I've got a problem. I didn't know I had a problem. Well, I kind of did, but I never admitted it to myself. I think people were worried about the erratic behaviour, and I just sort of come out and I'm like, yeah, I have got a problem. And I said it to my mum first, so I've got a problem with coke. You know what I mean? And then it's like she knew it, but as soon as I said that,
it hit home.
The demeanour changed. As soon as them words come out,
you realise yourself, oh shit.
Well, yeah.
Do you know when you first got clean then, and you posted all of it socials, which is very brave of you for one.
Yeah.
It takes balls and courage to do that.
No, you don't say that.
To say, look at me, my name's Marcus, I've got a massive problem. And you put it all out there. Did everyone know, like your friends, did everyone kind of have an idea anyway, or like a shock to you, like your auntie for argument's sake, or, you know?
I think some people had.
And we must have been worried about that as well. Or did you just think, fuck it, this is me? I need to get past this part and then move forward.
Like I say though, I've always gone through, even at school, people bullied me, people did this, people did that. People bullied me for being sexually abused, right? So coming out and talking about being an addict, that's the least of my fucking concerns, what somebody's got to say. But like I said, I was thinking long term, because the day I posted that has got me here now having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I knew that were my niche, and I knew all I had to do was share my story, be as real as I could, and I could, talking from a business sense here, I could build a brand on that. And because it's not like I've just started socials now going, 2 years ago I was a mess and just showing pictures.
It's day one, that's what's unique. I keep
one.
saying that's what's so good about this story for me. It's unique. That
I like that as well, yeah.
Who else does that?
I don't know anyone else.
That's it. But a lot of people have started doing that now. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people have. And but I will put it out there, some people do it for wrong reasons. They do it because they know they can monetize on TikTok and Facebook and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They do it for that reason, because they want to be an influencer. I hate being called an influencer. I'm like, I'm not. I says, somebody says to me not long ago, they asked me, this is, what would you class yourself as, a businessman or a sober coach or what? I say, I'm just a guy with experience who's trying to help other people. That is it. I would not class myself as anything. You know what I mean? Like, me and Mrs. been on 2 holidays this year in Portugal and Greece, and people have stopped me. You know, and they're, fucking hell, you're that guy. I follow your page and you've helped me, and you've helped, like, a stranger I've never met in the middle of fucking Greece saying, you've helped save my life with your videos. And I'm like, how? I'm calling you a cunt for sniffing. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's on. She's like, fucking celebrity. I'm like, I'm not. I said, I'm really fucking not. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be a celebrity. I just want to. I'm grateful that my story and how I am and what I do, I'm grateful it's put me in a position to be seen and heard, but I don't want no sort of celebrity status from it. I do it. Everything I post up, fitness, family, recovery, everything is just to show people what you can achieve if you drop the bag, basically. Do you know what I mean?
And drink.
And the drink.
Well, you have to do both. You can't just do one, isn't it?
Did you find, speaking to most people, one thing leads to another?
100%.
Usually with drink, like you said, growing up as a kid, everyone has a bit, and then before you know it, you're having an odd bit when you're out with your mate, then it just builds from there. Yeah. Is that nearly all your cases?
Yeah, a lot of it, yeah. Like, it's very rare I'll come across an addict that just started dry sniffing. You know what I mean? You got to think UK culture. As soon as you get 18, you're drinking down park as a young'un anyway. Yeah. Right? As soon as you turn 18, what's the first thing your fucking mum and dad give you?
It's all wrong, isn't it? It's all wrong.
There you go. You're not sitting you down and going, right, let me teach you about fucking taxes and corrupt government. Let me teach you about real world. No, before we get into all that, son.
Have a pint.
Have that to numb it. Yeah. What I'm going to tell you. That's it. Welcome to real world. Here's your
it is wrong way, isn't it? We're all brought up wrong way. The system is.
Say, well, I'd rather my son drink with me to start with than somebody else, but it's really.
But you know,
shouldn't be drinking it all, should they?
Alcohol companies, they want that. They push that forward. You know, the advertisement is every celebration. You know, raise a glass and all this.
That's what we do, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because it's brought into us.
Every single occasion, if you like us or lads we know, is with a drink. Every single thing you're doing,
all the time.
Everything.
It's just normalised.
But don't get me wrong. I still have the odd 0% beer. Yeah. I like the flavour,
there's nothing wrong with that,
of beer. I just don't like the effect of alcohol, because I know, like, even if I had one beer right now, then it'd be like, I could just have one beer now and everything would be fine. But then next week,
one day it might not be fine,
And then before you know it, I'll be in a crack den. Do you know what I mean? And that's that false sense of security. But what I have worked out, and I was talking to a woman a few days ago on the phone who's been working in psychotherapy. She's a psychotherapist, and she'd been working around addicts and stuff for like 25 plus years. And I sort of came out with something that she'd never heard before. She said, I've never heard that, and that's opened my eyes. And I says, most people that come to me have got 2 addictions and they don't even know about it. Right, so when the sniffing, you got to think alcohol. There's 3 gateways to addiction. So your first gateway is your alcohol. Justifies having a bag, right? It justifies it because you're in that headspace now. Your mindset's being altered. When you have the bag, you get off your tits. You start looking at tits. I'm funny. I'm gambling. And you develop a fucking addiction around that. Yeah. Right? And then sooner or later, the alcohol goes. And it's just the coke. Right? But you can't justify watching all that vile shit you watch on internet when you're sober. So you've got to have a line, bang, to get to that.
Sorry, Marcus, don't mean to interrupt you, but try not to bang on mic because
Oh,
it goes
sorry,
through, just
mate.
resonates.
Yeah.
Every time you go boom, it just goes.
It's a booming
Sorry.
topic, mate.
Yeah, it is.
But that is it. That is it. That is it.
I've noticed it with some people, exactly what you've just said.
Yeah.
That one thing leads into another.
It does.
And you know, when I did research
Even
for
with
this,
gambling and with other behaviours, even like I've known people that do bits of stealing and stuff.
yeah,
Like they're hungover and they're going to it, they think, fuck that. And honestly, I've seen it all.
yeah. And you know, when I did
You know, like that
research,
instant hit they're trying to get from stealing something. When they've even got money in their pocket, they'll walk out of a shop and they've got. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all that. It's all linked to all that behaviour.
yeah.
Dopamine it.
And it reached a point today where basically this guy came out with it, and I thought it was brilliant what he said, because today cocaine is so normalized. It's so normal in society. It's almost as normal as, you know, Friday night to go and have a pint. But people will go and have a fucking bag.
Yeah.
It's just so normalized, and it's everyone, every walks of life, and any age. It does not discriminate. Everybody does it, and it's insane. Last year, basically, the Belgium is the new capital of cocaine, right? Because of the port.
It was London for a long England. For a
No,
long
no,
time.
as in no, where it comes, and then it
All right,
distributes to Europe, and for usage wise is UK, London, but per capita is Spain, which a lot of English people live there as well, really. So that must be something to do with that. But the point is, they confiscated. Well, yeah, confiscated. That's the right word. Last year, 120 tons of coke, and they said they only touched about 11% of all the coke that came into Europe. Right? Now, do you know why? This is fucking where it goes mad. Do you know why they know that it's the basically it really increased how much they bring every year? It's a very simple reason. They go, we caught 120 tons. We confiscated. We burned it. You know, that's it. It's gone, and the price hasn't changed. That means there is a lot more supply.
Yeah.
So they just fucking mind blowing is that.
Yeah. And I people said to me before, you're never going to stop addiction. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to stop it. I'm not going to be able to save everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't, the way to get drugs off at street, it's not to get every dealer locked up, because it's like, like when you're playing Call of Duty and you shoot some fucker and they just respawn, right? That you take one dealer off at street and three more fuckers just pop up.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
part
Yeah.
of the ecosystem, isn't it?
That- that's it.
It's crazy.
There's always a replacement. So for me, the way to tackle the problem, get people clean. Reduce the customer base. It's as simple as that.
I'll make them aware, really, because half of them are blind and some people, the other half don't want to know, do they? They're like,
Exactly.
what's your program look like then if I were to ring you? Or Richard
Yeah,
to
how
ring
to
you?
contact
Not
you
that
as
we've
well.
got a
That's a good
cocaine
point.
issue.
Yeah. So normally I'd ask the person on the phone, like, I'd ask them to give me insight. I don't really have to tell them much about me. But they booked a call with me.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell anything to anybody.
Do you have to start off by telling them to be honest with themselves?
Well, just the fact that they've got this far, contacting a guy they've seen on TikTok or Facebook Reels, and they've actually answered the
They
phone.
can already honest,
I know
yeah.
they're going to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I know they are. And with content I put out there, they know there's not much that's going to shock me.
Yeah.
Whatever they tell me. So they'll just start telling me, and if there's a few details I need to know extra, then I'll ask. I ask them if they've tried getting help elsewhere before, and if it's yes or a no, why didn't that work for you? And then I tell them what I do. I look, we're Mean and Clean to bridge the gaps that the system can or won't provide, that it can't afford to provide, or it can't be asked to provide. Because if you go to a GP and tell them you're a cocaine addict, two things they're going to do is they're going to say, well, just stop taking it. And they're going to have a mentality of, you got yourself in this mess, so get yourself out of it. And they're going to try to prescribe you antidepressants, which is just swapping one substance for another, but you don't get fucking pranged out on a tablet like that. So you're putting money from a drug dealer's pocket to
Another drug dealer's pocket.
illegal drug dealer's pocket.
I have not myself, but in my family, I have a lot of experience about that. So my cousin, well, what we said about before about addictive personalities, well, he had that from really early age. It was very apparent when we were kids all the time. He was doing something. He passed away now. He died about 10 years ago because of overdose, heroin overdose. But when he tried to get clean and he went to clinic, they just gave him, is it fentanyl? Methadone, yeah. And he told me immediately, he said, it's worse than heroin. He said the way it makes you feel, the come down is so brutal. He goes, you can't even describe. He said it's just, you don't want to take it. You take it purely because you need heroin and you don't have it. And that was worse. And that they were giving him that for free.
Yeah.
And it was more addictive than heroin as well.
Yeah.
That's
How do they help him?
Some addiction does start, well, a lot of addictions start in a GP's office. Pull you back at work, here's some tramadol, bang, bang, bang. They see you get dependent on it. Fucking hell, we don't want to be a part of your downfall, mate. Stop that prescription. What are you going to do then? Back alley it. You're going to go find a drug dealer, you're going to progress onto different substances, and then you end up back in that GP's office a few years later, hooked on something else, and they go, now that we can talk about the problem because it's a different type of medication and it wasn't the medication I give you, now I can help you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the one you do a full fucking circle to come back, you know, fuck you off, let you get addicted to something else, and then come back when it's not limelighting on us.
And in the meantime, most of them people's lives are pretty in tatters.
Well, they're ruined, isn't it? The financial side, everything, and if every single aspect in your life is ruined, well, what's the, you know, what else is there? What's left? Nothing. So you just go back to that drug.
But yeah, I look at all that aspects. That's what I looked at when I started sort of constructing this program. And one thing that isn't out there or isn't spoke about, they're very quick to put medication down your neck and isolate you in rehab centres and get you praying to Jesus, and you know they're very quick to do all these fucking mad things. But let's just talk realistically here, the facts, what we know about addiction, right? There could be some past trauma there, right? So we need to be talking about what that past trauma is. Social circle of people that you're around, who needs eliminating, right? It could be general life, what are you happy with, what you're not happy with, what is in your power to change it. Dopamine, that's the buzz you get when you sniff, right? So I did a lot of self-research in my recovery. I was like, how can I get that feeling of buzzing off my tits with that paranoia and wanting to go on a Pornhub 20 times a day, right? So I would adopt a morning routine, which would be get up early, which creates discipline, walk to the gym, no matter the weather, no matter how far the gym was, walk there, train my ass off until I was dripping sweat, get in a sauna, get in a cold shower, and always dress in fresh clothing to maintain a good appearance.
Yeah, you feel better about yourself, don't you? That's a good point, actually.
And that routine right there saved my life, and I still do that routine to this day.
Well, right? Really, it made a different man, isn't it? You weren't the man you were when you were different man. You might look the same, but you were different man.
You are how you act.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You are what you do.
Yeah. Right?
And nothing changes if nothing changes. And then once I conquered the morning side of it, you know, now all of a sudden I didn't want to wake up and sniff a lime for breakfast. I wanted to get my ass at gym. But what that does, even the cold showers, every single person that I have on my program, I say, get a cold shower in the morning. I'll go, well, you're just going to be a fanny all your life.
Do it for a week or do it for a few days and see how you go.
But the reason why I do it is, it gives you a dopamine release. But you've got to think, you know that little devil on your shoulder that says, get a bag, right? That little devil comes when you're in cold water. It's uncomfortable physically. It'll go, get the fuck out. Right? And that's where you go, fuck off, right? So if you could say fuck off to that voice, you could say fuck off to the other voice that's telling you to get a bag. So everything I do is put in there and design strategically to build somebody up in a practical, down-to-earth, non-religious, non-medicated fucking way so that they can see themselves physically develop routine and fall in love with routine. See the body in the, see the physiques changing, feel the mindset changing. They can tick the days off and like literally if you're just ticking the days off in recovery, but you're not training, you're not looking after your diet, you're not getting electrolytes in, which are good for your central nervous system, you're not taking creatine, which is good for your cognitive function, or your fucking omega-3s for your heart, taking your milk thistle because your kidneys are fucked after everything you've been drinking and sniffing. These are things that are overlooked. And if you could get to 100 days in recovery, yeah, you might look a bit better, put a bit of water weight back on and look a bit healthier. But wouldn't you prefer to be 100 days clean and sober and look like a fucking machine, right? So you can go, it's not just 100 days clean and sober. I've fucking just flipped it. And now I've saved 5 to 10 grand because I'm not spending it on coke.
Yeah.
That is everything I look at doing. That is how I rebuild a person through Mean and Clean, right? I will never make them say then, but like, because we do group calls on a Monday and a Friday at 6 in the evening. And my one rule is you never come on and say, hello, my name's Marcus and I'm an addict. I know what you are.
I never like that. Is when you watch movies and stuff. I used to think, why do they make you do that? It's just fucking stupid. I don't want to say that. I just want to come there and sit down and listen. That's it.
It's that idea of surrendering to powerlessness. Like a lot of things like the 12-step program, I'm not going to say it don't work because it's been about for decades and it's helped millions of people all over the world.
It's also very profitable, isn't it?
I've not looked into fucking politics of it, but as far as I know, like from people that have come to me, they've said like, it seems to be a bit of a community for the people that are deep into recovery, like new people that walk in. It's like you're kind of expected to walk. Because first time I walked in, before somebody said, who the fuck's that? A guy come up and went, how long have you been sober? And I went, I'm not. And he went, oh, right. And he couldn't get away from me quicker. It's like, well, this is what it's fucking for, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Is that the 12 steps?
Yeah, that was that. But and that's what I'm saying. So for me, like you get a mix of characters there. Do you know what I mean? You get people from different backgrounds. For me, that's why I won't dress myself up.
Do you agree that you're always an addict or not?
You know what? I used to feel ashamed for being an addict. Now I take fucking massive pride in it, right? If I am literally on my laptop at 2:30 in the morning, Alice comes downstairs for a drink of water and I'm there working, she'll go, what the fuck are you, addict? Fucking whatever I do. I've not had a rest day from gym in 18 days.
You're not a drug addict though, are you?
No, that's it.
Yeah. With these like 12 steps and this, the other programs, it's like, yeah, I'm so-and-so, I'm a drug addict every single day or every single time I go to that. If you stop drinking or you stop doing whatever you're doing, why should you still have that burden on you?
You remember we had this conversation with you years ago, and I always thought that's bollocks.
My name's so-and-so, I'm an addict.
Yeah.
Putting that shit on, like, what would you rather do? That program or, do you understand what I mean? It's like, it's no brainer.
Basically, for your mistake, you define the rest of your life. That is mental.
And also, imagine if you go 20 years sober and you're still saying, I'm so-and-so, I'm an addict.
My name's Max, I'm an alcoholic.
But yeah, the guy that gets pissed every weekend or every weekend.
He's not addict.
But it's like a functioning type of alcoholic. He's not an alcoholic. But he's an addict who hasn't drank for 20 years.
That's it.
Don't weigh up that to me at all.
Yeah.
I just see that perception of it as a way to keep you coming back to the programme.
Yeah.
I get my guys, my clients on for 6 months, and if I am not ready to sign them off by the end of 6 months, that means I've fucked up somewhere. I've not done my job. But I do tell them, do not sign up unless you're going to put 100% into this. Because I don't fuck about with people that don't want it. Right?
So you've got to give them a proper talking to sometimes.
Oh yeah, I say, fuck it. If you do not be accountable, right, you're gone. Simple as that. Simple as that. The best way to help somebody is to be fucking real with them.
I think it goes back what we said before. You can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped, isn't it?
But people see, like I say, social media served me well in that sense, right? They come to me because they know I'm the guy to help them. So, and they already know they're not going to get a softy soft approach because I've got a fuck you tattoo there, mate. You know what I mean? It looks like a fucking guitar from a distance, but they know that. They're bringing a guy, and people say never trust somebody with a face tattoo, but I get fucking hundreds of bookings a week for people, over weeks for people to speak to me. And it's because of the journey and the story, and they've seen visually where I came from to where I am now. That is the biggest, not a fucking poster saying, are you an addict, do you need help? Come sit in a circle and let's talk about all bad shit you did to remind you of how much a twat you are, right? And remind you that you're powerless, right? You live with a disease. That is the big one I don't believe with, right? It's a disease. Scientifically, it's a disease, but the answer's God.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah,
when
work
people
that
say
one out. But I get fucking slandered for saying that on social media. But my thing is, no, I don't look at addiction as a disease, right? Personally, I look at addiction as an energy, right? It's addictive energy. That is it. And you've got to channel that energy in the right place, right? You can use it for good and bad. When somebody comes out and admits they're an addict, the first thing they're not looking for is help. They are using it as an excuse to keep using because they go, well, what do you expect? I'm an addict.
It's like an accept. Yeah, you must accept me. I've come out. Yeah,
I've told you I'm an addict. Do you know what I mean? And so it's one of them. But I will. Fucking hell, I've got no problem with people saying, oh, you're that addict. Yeah, I fucking am, mate. Yeah, because I channel it in the right place.
Well, I think maybe that's one of the reasons why people contact you, because they watch your videos, they feel like they know you, but they know you don't know them. You never seen them before, and even if that one conversation doesn't go well, nobody will ever knew that happened.
Yeah.
So they'll ring you.
And I keep it very like with system. The one thing that puts a lot of people off contacting government funded places is social services getting involved, contacting jobs, driver's license, DVLA. With me, if they contact me, them places contact me, I have to legally oblige. But some people need a little secret safe haven.
Just to try to be confidential.
Just to get ahead a few steps. Yeah. So that's what I do. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, you're with me now and that's it. Do you know what I mean? You're with me. Fuck everybody else. You're with me and you're under my wing. And let's get you to where you need to be. The way you're going to help somebody is not by taking the kids off them, right? That's just going to make it, I get the safeguarding
or giving them a load of tablets.
Yeah, it's not going to solve it. They've been doing it backwards for years, right? Over 1,000 people I've managed to get over that.
I don't think that's backwards. I think that's intentionally, because crazy. It makes them shed loads of money.
Of course it does.
I just think that's what that is.
You know,
Christopher.
His head just fucking rattled there.
Don't bang, yeah.
It's windy. It's windy in here.
But I remember when I went to my local drug and alcohol service, Turning Point, one of my many attempts. The woman that was my caseworker, lovely woman, got along with her, she listened to me, everything. But they gave me a fucking sheet and it said, it was basically a drug diary. Like, log what I've used, what I've spent, what I've saved, and I got told, if you buy a gram today, half it, save over half for tomorrow. Says, mate, that's going in fucking 20 minutes, mate. Do you know what I mean? Oh, no man does that.
How many times did you try and stop before that last moment?
9.
9 times. This has been 9
Yeah, sorry. How long would it like? Did you do a couple of weeks, 6 months?
Yeah, I don't know. I get like...
What were triggers as well?
It was social circles. What was it? It was the lifestyle I lived. It came part and parcel.
It's pressures, isn't it? You go out, maybe you don't drink first time or have take out first time, but the second time you go out and then...
I could have a few good nights out and about and I'd be like, I'm sound. And then it'd be like, I'll just have a bottle of Bud, And then by the end at night, I'm like...
I have a question. I don't know, since yesterday it was bugging me and I wasn't sure if I'm going to ask this, but I'll ask it. You don't have to answer if you don't want, because I'm not sure how you're going to react to this, but... Do you know because you're human, everyone is human, right? If you prolapse again, do you have a plan of attack? How are you going to tackle this? What you going to do?
Well, prolapse, I think that's when your fucking arsehole comes out in it.
Sorry, not prolapse.
I've never prolapsed.
Sorry, I said that wrong, Jesus. I'm going to delete that.
You're not cutting that. You've got to leave that, mate.
Keep that shit in. Use that as an highlight.
He's got a nappy on it.
Can't believe I just said that.
I'm checking that.
Fucking hell.
I thought, I can't wait for him to finish sentence because I'm going to come back with a banger.
Can't believe I just said that.
What have you been watching before you come out?
Is it hot in here? Jesus Christ.
He's been thinking about that question for about 3 days.
I was actually as well. I'm like, fuck me. Should I ask him that or not?
He was sat on shitter when he thought of it.
No, you're not kidding.
Go on. Yeah.
Relapse.
What was the question again? If what?
You know, if you relapse, because now you're deep into recovery, right?
Yeah.
It's almost 2 years sober, and you know, if I know, fucking Jesus, if you relapse again, like what you gonna do? What's your plan of attack? Do you have one? Have you thought of
does
it?
it even enter your head, or do you think?
Yeah,
about
did you
every day?
even think of that?
You know what it is, right? I'm aware I'm not superhuman, and like literally social media stuff like this, a lot. But I've seen it happen to people. It can make them look and feel invincible, and they're not. Even with my clients, I share my good days and my bad days, right? Whatever I go through, right, it does not warrant drugs. Like, no matter what, like, I could lose my full family tragically. The answer ain't drugs. I know that now. I know that. And the only way I would relapse is if I stopped doing what's got me this far.
Sorry, fucking. God, Jesus.
It's if I stop doing what I was doing, you know, and I just give up. And I put myself in dangerous situations. That's it. I know what to avoid, and that's it.
The reason I'm asking this, one sec, Chris, sorry. The reason I'm asking this, right? Because a lot of people, even not even the drug addicts, even somebody goes, I'm gonna do sober October or dry January, whatever, and they have that one day that want to be, they go, that's it, that's fucked, and they just go back on it. That's the worst thing you can do, isn't it? Because in my head, if you relapse and something happens and that one day you took some shit, next day when you wake up, you can't say to yourself, oh, that's it, it's fucked, so I'm just go back on it. That's in my mind. Is like
most people do.
Most people do.
Most
don't
people,
they?
that's it.
And this is the thing as well when I talk about relapses, and this is, I try to let the possibilities of the future drive me on as opposed to the pain of the past, right? My sort of mentality is I've dealt with the pain of the past, now I've got to look forward to shit that I know I've got the minerals to achieve. But what does put a fucking horrible fear inside me is knowing that when a relapse occurs, especially for somebody who was hardcore addicted as I was with the amounts and the types of drugs I were doing, I would never go back. I would never relapse in a small way. I would go back to what I finished. I'd pick up where I left off, basically.
5, 6, 7 grams a day.
5, 6, 7 grams a day. Like, if we contemplated it now, right, if I came to an agreement, yeah, but right, I'm going to have a pint. Right, tonight, I'm going to relapse. 5 gram.
So you would ring a deal, you would just say, bring me 2/8.
I'd be after everything.
Yeah.
You know what I probably do? I don't have any contacts in my phone for any drugs now. That's one of the big things that I make people do. Get rid of anything. Change your number if you've got to. You've got to do everything in your power to cut the line of communication. Which a lot of people hold on to a few numbers just as a safety net. But you've already set yourself up for failure, even if you're 2 years sober.
Most have got a mate who's got one.
Yeah.
So
as long as you know that you've got a safety net there, right, you're fucking just waiting for it relapse, so you're just kidding yourself. You know what I mean? But I always sort of explain relapses like that as, 2 ways I explain them is that it's like a toxic relationship, right? When you get out of we've all probably had a relationship at some point that was just bullshit. You get out of it, you look back, in your head and you think, I wonder how that person's getting on. And you go back for a dabble, right? You might have one good night. Next day, it's just same shit again. That's the same with drugs, Oh, I missed you. Next day, I'm going to fucking kill you. That's what it is, right? And the other way I sort of analogize it is every day in recovery is a step up a ladder. The higher, the more... see, this is where people go backwards with the thinking. They think the longer sober they are, if they relapse, it won't be as bad. It's not.
It's like, back to same, isn't it?
You get 365 steps up a ladder and you fall, you're dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're dead. Yeah. That's how I look at it. And my recovery is more publicised than a lot of people's recovery. So you got to think of what I've got to risk and lose if that happens.
So in short, you're saying it would end up bad for you.
Everything you believe in, your business, maybe everything.
Everything. But would I post about it? Yeah, I would.
But that's my question. Would you try to literally just get yourself back on feet as soon as, like, you know?
Yeah, I'd
now,
probably
like, today.
But for me to run a recovery program like I am, I've got to be the fucking dog's bollocks and
You got to
like,
do
commit
it.
that I'm never going to relapse, right? And a lot of people say I can't promise I'm never going to relapse. That's a big thing in 12-step thing. Don't ever say that you're not gonna. Well, you just already fucking laying groundwork for it to happen. You're leaving a gate open.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're leaving a gate open and you're telling yourself you're powerless. Think about it now. Everything they're telling you, you're powerless. You've got a disease. You're an addict. Don't ever say you're not going to do it again. They're programming you to leave the gate open.
Yeah.
So you keep going back and keep going back. And it's kind of like a way to manufacture you into a religion, into a religious practice. Because they know you won't walk into a church sober. So when you're on drugs and you're vulnerable, we'll get you fucking signed up to his Lord and Saviour.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right, yeah, that is it. Right? You walked in a crackhead, 2 minutes later, you know, two years later, you're knocking on doors, handing leaflets out, can I tell you about how long it's been? You know what I mean? It's like, for me, I don't want that shit. Like, it should be normalised that people judge people that get into recovery and didn't go down the 12-step route. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm sat next to a recovering addict now who's got more time under the belt than I have, and they did it through 12 steps, fucking kudos,
Yeah, good for
whatever. But when you try telling me
yours don't work, or it's not the right way.
Yeah.
this is the way, I'm saying that's the fucking door. Do you know what I mean? Don't tell me, because I've managed to do it. What makes you so cocksure that you're not going to relapse and I will?
And you
What is that
personally
12
helped
steps?
how
What they
many
make you do there?
I don't know too much. You know what? I try not to look at. This is one of my rules. I don't look at other people's content. I don't look into other programs. I don't look into anybody else's business models, because I want to see what I'm capable of, and it has to be personal.
Authentic,
to me.
yeah, to yourself,
authentic.
yeah.
And
It's
as long
authentic.
as it's all authentic, I know the results are from an authentic place. Do you know what I mean? That is it. A lot of people now, a lot of coaches using ChatGPT and all that kind of shit. And you can tell. You can tell when they're doing it. Do you know what I mean? That's why on my videos, I ain't reading off no script that you know, the fucking get words coming down screen and you, obviously audience won't know, but you're reading a script. I literally just pull my phone out and just wing it. Do you know what I mean? I'll just wing it. I'll say, fuck, shit.
What's your vision then for business now and for your program?
I want it to be...
Like, for argument's sake, what you've achieved, like we said before, in the last 18 months, 2 years has been extraordinary.
So what
about moving forward then for the next couple of years?
I want a Mean&clean wellness recovery centre in every major UK city within the next 5 to 10 years. And
That's
I
ambitious.
don't want it to just be for recovering addicts. I want it to be... So basically, whatever this fucked up government can't be asked to really address, I want to address it. So I have got friends that have been in the armed forces that have fallen into addiction, suffer with PTSD. There's lack of help out there. They have become homeless. I know women who have been victims of domestic abuse and, you know, and there's been unfair justice served. So what I want to do is take the most vulnerable people in society, you know, your addicts, people that want to take their own lives, people that have been nearly killed or people that have been let down by its system. So in these wellness centres, what I want to do, and you're hearing it here first, and mark my words, it's going to happen, I want to be able to have a safe hub, like I say, every major UK city next 5 to 10 years, that will help addicts get back on their feet, right? I'll be able to employ them into the wellness centre, even addicts that have got severe autism, that don't fit into normal society, give them a little job in a cafe, something, sense of purpose, sense of well-being. There's a place for everybody. I want to take homeless veterans off the street, give them an address so they can get a bank account, so that they can then go into employment, and that's how you set them up. Yeah. So all they need is an address, right? And they're in the right place for it. Domestic abuse victims, right? By the time they've made a phone call to a helpline, right, there's already a car waiting to collect them. The police will already be there by the time they get transported to the safe space. The ball's already rolling. There we go. That's everything that people moan about. This is my belief. Everybody's quick to moan about what's wrong with country. but nobody's doing it about
Yeah,
it.
that is true, yeah.
100%.
Your vote is not going to do anything.
100%.
Right, it's not going to do fuck all, right? So it is, I'm sorry, but it's down to me or people like me that have got a bit of bollocks to stand up and go, you know what, I'll do it then. And if it means I get a few shitty comments on social media, so what? You'll see. One day, somebody's going to write you a dickhead on my comment, right? And when they look up, they'll see my fucking logo right next to my shop window, right? And that's where it's all, that's where it's going to go.
Oh, you'll probably help them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll turn up one of your
Eventually,
centres.
that's possible, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that before. I've had somebody troll, and then they've gone. I didn't think you were going to bring me. I'm like, why? I'm like, well, I said I hoped you relapse once on a video, and he says you actually predicted this because you said, oh, I guess you're a session yourself. I'll look forward to your phone call. I says. I turned it a bit of a McGregor then. I predict these things. Oh, I knew it was coming, Mystic Mac. But you know
50
what?
50 Gs, baby.
Yeah, even that though, even people that have given me shit, yeah, and they come to me with a problem, I'm not the type of person to be like, fuck you call me a wanker, go die, go OD. Do you know what I mean? I'll still help them, you know, because then they'll understand why I did them.
You
videos.
probably realise they're coming from a space that, you know, they're not all there, are they? You know, they're in
Exactly.
trouble themselves if they're coming out with shit like that.
You're full of anger, aren't you? Angry at
Yeah.
the rest, yourself and the rest of the world. So you just anger. If you you know, if you have a keyboard and you see something, you know, you're angry,
Keyboard warriors,
and you
aren't
know this is why you're angry. It pisses you off, and
Call them crickets.
yeah.
You know, when you go on holiday, you can hear crickets everywhere. You walk past them, they shut the fuck up. That's what haters are, mate.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what they are.
Yeah, and do you know if anybody wants to contact you, you know, how do they do it?
Well, I would say go to mean&clean.uk, but mysteriously that website's disappeared over the past 24 hours, and I didn't take it down. So, yeah, but it's probably done me a favour because there were some outdated pictures on there that needed changing.
Right.
So they just have to jump on
Social media.
social media, Facebook, Mean and Clean, Mean and Clean UK on Instagram, Mean and Clean UK on TikTok. But I'm very quick with response
Yeah.
because I don't make people wait. The day that they ask for a call, they get a call. That is it. Because that waiting time it means life or death.
Yeah, because somebody maybe that had that strength put together, you know, to make a phone call in literally
Yeah,
5
if you
minutes.
want-
Yeah.
I had a guy 2 days ago that I spoke to, got him signed up onto the programme. He had his initial message that he sent to me, like at the beginning of this week. He had that typed out for 6 months, and he didn't send it.
And just
And
1 minute, yeah.
And then he sent it by accident,
By accident.
and I got it, and I rang him, and now he's nearly a week sober.
Oh, wow.
There we go. You know what I mean?
It just shows you, doesn't it?
Mm.
That's it. I'm not God's
Little
gift
bit
to
of
recovery.
courage, yeah.
I'm
Little
not
bit of
God's gift
courage.
to recovery. I'm not fucking better than anybody else. But what I'm saying is that I just look at it differently. Do you know what I mean? And I just try to bring the best out in people. I've helped people when they get to that 6 month sober mark start looking for external goals. So by that I mean you want to. So for me now, my main focus is not waking up every morning thinking I need to not drink and use drugs, right? I compete in high rocks. I'm a dad.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a businessman. I'm a mentor. I have to be sober for them things, but staying sober is not the primary focus. So it doesn't put the pressure. Because even when you're thinking about not doing drink and drugs, you're still
All the
thinking
time.
about
Yeah.
it. So that's where that 12-step mentality. I try to get them away from that. Let's look forward. Let's build something so big.
To look forward to, yeah.
Yeah, you can't eat. You cannot trip. Just like I've done. I can't stumble.
From when you started out on that journey, then you just mentioned IROX there. How soon was it that you got into that? Or did you just start exercising bit by bit? Obviously, you can tell you're in incredible shape.
Well, I started lifting because I was 7.5 stone on day 0.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What's that in kilos?
It's about 50 kilos, isn't
50, yeah, because 10 stone is 66 kilos, isn't it? Am I right? Yeah, I think I am.
I failed math twice, mate. I can't pass left.
I think it's thereabouts. So
I'm about 11 stone, I'm about 70 kilos.
So you were like 50 odd kilos, let's say, yeah.
Something like that. I'll go with whatever
Wow.
you say. Well, saying that, you fought a prolapse. But no. But
you're not deleting that.
No,
no chance.
fuck it, I'll leave it.
But yeah, I was very. Yeah, you've seen that Ahmed the Dead Terrorist, the puppet,
Oh, yeah.
the skeleton puppet.
Yeah.
That's what I look like. Man. Skinny, big overgrown
7
beard,
stone.
pale, ridiculous. If you go on Instagram, you'll find it. You'll see.
Have you developed any medical conditions because of all that? Because all the years going through that, it must have somehow affected your body. Mentally. Or but what about physically?
As well, yeah. So, tics. And I've been doing it while we've been sat here. I've been going like that. And we're going like that. Sometimes I'll jolt like that.
Oh, right, okay.
And I think what it is
Nervous
it's physical stress. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Instead of lashing out or whatever, my body's I'll be jolting and I don't even know I'm doing it.
But
like on my videos, some people go, "Why are you twitching your eyes? Like you still on bag, you mate?" And I'm like,
I saw that actually. Yeah.
This is an after effect of it, right? So look at I've got in shape, I'm doing well, but I'm still living with something. You know what I mean? There's still
It never really ever leaves you then.
But your liver, kidneys, and stuff like that are all right.
Everything's good.
Oh, that's
Blood
good.
work's
Yeah,
good.
that's
Everything's
good.
good. But and I think that when you cut your body, it'll heal. When your mind's cut, when your mentality's cut, your mental health's cut, that's harder to recover.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that happened during addiction that I have had to really dig deep to find peace with, and understand it and take ownership for it. Not everything. So like when me and my missus did get back together, like she were, and I had to accept the fact that she has not got a drink problem. She'll drink once every 3 months. She'll be out for a few hours and she'll come home. But me as an addict, when she went out, bags are in, whether the kids are upstairs in bed or not, sniffing, fucking explicit shit on one tab, checking her socials on all the mates' socials to see, who's there, who's about, somebody outside, everything. And for the first couple of times she went out, it were hard. And I must have been, I was around between 50 and 90 days sober then, I want to say. So, and I'd already got a presence on social media for my story. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're fucking killing it." And I'm like, I'm still suffering here. Because it was like a big test for me. But I knew I had to get through it. So the first few times she'd gone out, I was sober still, but I was giving a shit. It was still there. And I was like, so recovery ain't just getting clean and sober, it's recovering all the shit that you lost in the process of addiction. But now she can go out and I'm like, she's booked to go away in October to fucking Marrakesh with her family. We're auntie and a mum and that and her cousins.
More than happy now.
And I'm like, sound.
But do you know if you two go for a dinner, for a meal somewhere, will she have a drink or she'll just leave?
She's not a big drinker, but if she wanted to, I could
and
sit with her.
You're okay with that?
Yeah,
fine.
I could sit with her and she could get pissed because I'm going to get lucky at the end at night, right?
Yeah.
But she's one of my safe people. Do you know what I mean? She'll never put it on me. She can read me like a book if I feel uncomfortable, and it's not. If we're somewhere in a boozer or, if we go to a club and stuff, like when I did Manchester IROX in January, it was my birthday weekend after that, we went to a few nightclubs, we went to see some people playing guitars and stuff, and we went into these nightclubs and I thought, because, she's had a drink, it's her vibe, whatever. And then what makes me uncomfortable, it's not the temptation to do anything or drink anything, it's I'm sober, I've just run a fucking race, I'm tired, fucking Scout Steve over there is giving me eyeball. Do you know what I mean? For some reason he's paranoid, he thinks you're his bird, but you really might be. So I'm like, why are you my bird? And there's just this big triangle of fucking confusion going on.
And you don't want that situation, don't you?
And I'm like, no mate, you're fucked, I'm sober, I'd kill you, just let's go. Do you know what I mean? But she can read me like a book and she knows when I've had enough and we'll go. Do you know what I mean? Like the video I did the other day saying partners of addicts, right? I am not saying that the partner of an addict should not drink, they should not, do these things and go on holidays. What I'm saying is, if you're banging on about your partner is a full-time baghead, that is their occupation, and you hate them for it and it's destroying you, but you still ain't got the bollocks to leave them, right? And you want to be round them and you're begging them to get clean and sober, you are going to have to adjust your lifestyle to help support them. You just have to do it. if they mean that much to you. You can't be inviting them down to the pub because they've had a good week and they haven't touched anything, right? Going down to the pub for a pint, oh, he's all right, he's with me. No, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, how many times I was sat on the sofa with our lass just watching Netflix and literally I'd go to let dog out or something, but I've already arranged it hours before. That dealer's going to stick it in the wheelie bin, right? And I come back, side of the house, bang, sit down, stamp boxes or in between my arse cheeks, sit down, yep, press play.
But
Do you know what I mean?
I think they know that. They don't tell you what they know. You can tell, can you? If you're living with an addict day to day, you know them inside out. So you know when they had something.
They pick up on behaviours over time.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden I was just laughing to a rom-com with her, and then next
chewing
minute,
her ear off and you've been quiet for half an hour.
next minute I'm in bed sweating and I've got to film. I'm going to go downstairs and she can feel my heartbeat. Do you know what I mean? Through the fucking mattress. It's like, then it becomes apparent. Or they go, have you had something? Have a fuck. Have a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
We should probably mention that you're engaged now, yeah? So everything will end up well.
Well, we got engaged. Well, fucking, this is embarrassing. We've been engaged now 9 years this year. I proposed to her when she gave birth to his first son. Well, his only son, his first child,
So
Diago.
you've got 2 kids then?
Yeah, we've got 2, boy and a girl, Diago, Delilah. And I kind of ambushed her really because she were off her head on gas and air and that, and she'd just come out at the fucking bathroom after getting cleaned up, and I'd put Diago in a little fucking baby vest saying, "Mummy, will you marry Daddy?" and tight ring to his to his leg, and she were fucking obviously disillusioned with whatever. She had a gun full of grapes, fucking 90 on, and she was like. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, this went down well. I didn't even have to get down on one knee, you know.
Bottled it,
Mate. I froze. I was like, will you then? And then that was it. So, but now we are talking. Now it is wedding talk. Now we're talking weddings, and we're talking another baby as well. So it's
so things going really
Happy
well.
days, mate.
yeah, that is it. So it's like I said, I just want my story to be one of them to anybody that's in addiction, anybody doing anything that. Literally, you can do anything you put your mind to. You can get clean, use something with that. And for people as well, from a business point of view, your story is your most profitable tool. Your story, do you know what I mean? And just work relentlessly at it. You know, just work what you believe in, and that's it. And stick to being healthy, and you'll be fine.
Brilliant, mate. Honestly, yeah, really good.
Right.
What you wanna ask me?
I think it's time to end, really.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Sound awesome.
Yeah. So
Have you got any? Do you have sponsors anyway? Have you got your own sponsors and stuff? Anybody want to shout out? Say thank you for? Thank you to?
Yeah. I'll say a massive shout out to Wolf Supplements. Them boys, from the beginning of my recovery. Like I said, I did a lot of self-research. I wanted to know what nutrition, what to put in my body, electrolytes, sleep's important, everything. So they're 2 main products that I used to get
what
from
are they
them.
called? Sorry, say it again.
Wolf Supplements.
Wolf Supplements.
So it's Wolf Hydrate
Right.
and Full Moon. So the Wolf Hydrate, that's electrolytes, sour apple for the win, boom. And the Full Moon, that helps you with your sleep and natural anti-stress agent in it, de-stress agents, should I say. And I depended on them every day.
And where do you get them? Just normal website?
Supplement shop, if you go to Wolf Sup's website, find them on social media, you can use the code Mean&clean 10 for a 10% discount.
Oh.
Boom. But no, their products literally, they were essential and I still use them to this day. Everything I did from day one I still do to this day now. You know, and I get all my clients using them products as well. And them boys have just been phenomenal support to me. And so have a lot of other people, my missus, my parents, everybody, you know. There's a lot of people I could shout out to, but just anybody in addiction, just keep going, you know, keep going with recovery or just take that step. But that's about it, boys.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in to No Bones Fight Talk. Marcus, thanks very much.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks for being inspiration.
Thanks for being inspiration, mate. I mean, I still get the sense it's only the beginning of you and your journey. Yeah. And business-wise, family-wise, you know, so from all those, we wish you all the best, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers for the laugh.
No Bones.